Hey, what's up, everyone? Steve with Medellin Unfiltered. Just want to do a quicker video today. We had two pretty strong events happen here, pretty crazy things happen in Medellin over the last week. One is kind of a really dark thing I don't want to talk too much about. I did an article about it on Medellin Unfiltered yesterday, and it took a lot out of me mentally to write it. So the other one I wrote today, which is a little bit more of something that is a good thing and well, not a good thing, but yes, a good thing. Not good for the people that it happened to, but it's a good lesson learning time. So that's what we're going to use it for today. On Friday of last week, they caught who they call the Queen of Real Estate Scams. It's a pretty crazy title if you think about it. The Queen of Real Estate Scams. I'll try and say her name right here. It's Keylis, Keylis, Keylis. I don't know. Samahi, Samhi, Samahi Belfon, Belfon. Whatever. She's a 31-year-old Venezuelan. She's the head of what they're calling a massive fraud ring. So what they would do is all around the Caribbean, they would go on to online forums, like they would go to, I think they use Reddit. I know they use Facebook a lot, Facebook groups. So they would go on these Facebook groups and on Reddit for specific places, like that really big in the Dominican Republic. It was really big in Puerto Rico. It was really big here, here in Colombia in general, but Medellin specifically, because this is the hot place to be right now. So pretty big. The Dominican Anti-Fraud Unit, the United States government, the Puerto Rican government, which is kind of the same, but neither here nor there, and also the Colombian government. There are three legs of the Colombian government because she was found here in Medellin, which is near the Arcadia Mall. So the Fiscalia, the National Police, and the Medellin Mayor's Office all teamed up. All of these agencies teamed up to find this lady who was holed up in Medellin, and yeah. So they found her, they got her, and she's the head of a ring. So what they would do is they would basically go on and they would post these apartments that they never had. And they would say, we need a deposit of X. We need a $500 deposit if you want to get this place. I have 10 people that want it. The first person that brings me $500 sends it to me through, they use PayPal, they use crypto mostly. So yes, send it to me through Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. I think they use Bitcoin and Ethereum as my guess. Send it to me through that and you'll get the apartment. And then when you get here, surprise, there's no apartment. But they also do real estate investment scams where, oh, we have a new building that's coming up. You can get in on it. It's this, check this out. Here it is. Here's the plans. Here's the apartments. Here's a virtual walkthrough. And they did everything like that. So what I'm saying to you is be skeptical when you're about to spend your money. There's kind of a feeling that people don't want to be offensive and like, oh, well, I have to check into you. And people won't say that. They're like, oh, well, I don't want to be offensive. When it comes to your money, you have to protect yourself. The fact of the matter is your money is a massive target. So there's scams everywhere. It's not just here in Medellin, there's scams everywhere. There are a lot more scams here. Over the past like 5-ish years, I've seen scams like 10x here. So be careful especially when you're going to invest something. If you're going to rent an apartment here, or if you're going to be here, let's talk about two different aspects of the rental game here. If you're going to rent an apartment here and you're on vacation, maybe you're here 2 weeks or 3 weeks, my best advice to you is to not use Airbnb. I know it's easy, I know it's cheap, and I know it's a trusted platform and all that, but the fact of the matter is that I'm seeing a lot more scams on Airbnb where the pictures aren't matching, the apartment isn't what they thought, and you're expecting this luxury thing and it's just not there. So I'm seeing that a lot. What I will say about that is if you want to be here for maybe 2-3 weeks or something, check out LIV Realty, LIV Realty, LIV Realty. Yeah, they're great people. They're very trustworthy. I know that there are some people that say they're overpriced, but at the end of the day, how much is your piece worth? That's one. The second part, and I would say check out hotels, because the fact is that hotels are probably a little bit more expensive. They're probably just a tiny bit more. They're not much more, but the hotel staff is there to help you out, and these guys are experts at spotting a scam. They're going to be experts at keeping you out of trouble. So let's say you bring a girl back, you find somebody, you know, you feeling a connection. Like, let's go back to my hotel. And if a lot of the times they're going to ask to see the ID of the person. And if the girl doesn't have an ID, don't bring them back. Come on, you're just asking for trouble. So these guys are there to help you with that. So I would say get a hotel. Just my own personal thing. It'll save you money in the end. It could save you a lot. It could save you freedom if you're not careful. So it's a good thing for everybody. The other is if you're going to be here for maybe a few months, maybe 3 months, 6 months, you plan on staying. I'm going to teach you a little bit about the real estate markets here, the rental. So one, I would say check with people like LIV Realty. There are some Facebook groups here where you can rent directly from the owner. I always say that's the best way to go. I'm going to say it's 99% of the time the best way to go. Unless you get a jerk. But, I mean, it can happen anywhere. So it's possible that could happen, but I would say just go that way. The reason being is that there are two different rental markets here. There's the furnished market, which you're going to be going with, and then there's the unfurnished market, which is harder to get into, and it's made more for locals. So when it makes it easier for the locals. That's the best part. The best part for them is that this is controlled by the government. The unfurnished market, it can only be your rent can only go up based on whatever inflation is for that year. So let's say the inflation goes up 5%. Your rent can only go up 5%. But you're going to have established credit here. You're going to have all sorts of different paperwork. Or if you haven't been here a while and you haven't established yourself here, you're going to need a fiador. And that's what I got when I first moved here. A good friend of mine he helped me out. He basically co-signed for me to get my apartment. And it allowed me to get established here. So I did have help with that. And if you don't have that, your best bet is going to be to go the furnished route. The furnished route is definitely going to be more expensive. It's probably about 30 to 50% more than an unfurnished apartment. But the problem is you have nothing to, if you want to leave, let's say Medellin's not for me. Medellin it's too much. It's too much craziness. It's too much nonsense going on. I want to leave. You can. And you don't have to worry about selling your furniture. You don't have to worry about everything you bought while you were here because you're renting it. No big deal. I've been here long enough to where I bought all my stuff. So it just made more sense for me. But if you're going to be here, just test it out for 6 months. Honestly speaking, go the furnished route. It's going to be a little bit more, yes, but at the same time, it's more protection for you. The other part of that, let me backtrack a little bit. One thing I will say is get everything in writing when you're working with a landlord, because there are a lot of landlords who will change up on you. They'll come up and say, there's another scam that they do, the scammer landlords. They will say, the rent's going up this month. And you're like, well, we just agreed that it's going to be $5 million for this place. Now it's going to be $7 million? What the hell's going on? Get it all in writing. Get it all in writing. 100%. And text don't cut it. They won't cut it. WhatsApp messages just aren't going to be good enough. So get everything in writing. Emails are better. And if you can get a contract, even better. Just get it in PDF. Much better. The last is, and these guys did this too. They would, the circle with the queen of real estate scams, they would actually get people to invest in real estate projects that never really were happening. So if you are looking at an apartment here and you want something that you can have here and you can rent out maybe, or whatever the case may be, if you want to move here, my best bet is to check with like legit real estate agents. Don't go with somebody who has a pretty presence online. And I like the way they talk. No, do research on it. Absolutely do research, and don't be fooled by a pretty website, because these scammers, the Venezuelan scammers, they had like legit websites. I went and looked at them. I do a little bit of web design on the side, on this side over here, and their websites were legit. There's nothing. I looked at everything. I even looked deeper into everything. They looked great. So don't get fooled by a pretty website. You know, they'll almost always put a pretty girl as the real estate agent, and don't fall for that. Don't fall for that stuff. Don't get fooled by it. My recommendation is to talk to a legit agent here. He's a friend of mine. I like him. It's Andrew Macias. He's a great guy, very honest, very straightforward, and he understands the U.S. and Colombian markets incredibly well. He has a massive advantage there, so it's a good thing. Carolina Restrepo, another friend of mine, she's starting to do real estate, so I think she's kind of dealing with more of the rental stuff. So if you need rental, you might want to talk to her. I have a video where I interviewed her like last year, I think. You can check it out. Things have changed for her a little bit. She's still doing the visa stuff, but now she's expanding, so good for her. So I just wanted to talk really quickly about that, because I know there are a lot of people that want to move here. They come here for vacation and they fall in love, and the next thing they know is they're moving here. I know that. I know that one well. I did that 10 years ago. 10 years ago next month. So it's been nice. It's been a long time, but I said I'm going to be here 6 months. I'm going to try it for 6 months. That was 10 years ago. So the only real danger of Medellin is wanting to stay here. It's never wanting to leave. So thank you guys. And if you could, like, share, and subscribe this video. I'm going to do a whole series of tips about moving here and working from here. I'm actually putting together a guide about working from Colombia remotely. So that'll be ready hopefully soon. I just got to find time to do it. So I want to, in that guide, I'm going to share all of my insights and everything I know about it. So about working remotely here. I've done it for 10 years. I've gone from the webcam business to, I did remote sales for a point. I did everything that you could do, everything in between. So let's use my knowledge to help you guys not make the same mistakes I did. So thank you guys. Again, like, share, subscribe this video. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if there's anything you want me to talk about. And we'll see you next time.